Hello garden friends, and welcome to my Sunday morning backyard garden tour. Look who's here to join us today.
Hey everybody.
It's my old and new husband John. For those of you who don't know, John and I were married 30 years ago. We got a divorce and we recently got remarried a couple months ago. Anyway, so after I show you around the garden, John and I are going to pull names from our hat. Ooh, I need to get my little fisher boy. Hold on. Keep watching till the end of this video because today we're finally going to name our little fisher boy. We're going to write down all the names that we picked, put them in John's hat, and he's going to pick them out. So without further ado, here's the garden. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz and I garden in the Central Valley of California. And this is my cute and colorful little garden. One thing that I'm super excited to show you is my brand new painted door. I just finished this last week. Oh, and there's little Angel. That's my sweet little boy kitten that I found coming out of the dentist office last week. See my pretty door? My door is behind Freya the farmer. Little scarecrow garden I have, and behind Freya is Lottie the lamb and her friend Petunia the pig. I got those cute little sunflower stakes at the dollar store. And there's Angel. Because it's fall, there's not a whole heck of a lot to see over here in my cottage garden, but I do have a beautiful Martha Washington geranium. And down here, there's all kinds of little seeds that just popped up. They're either poppies or larkspur. I have no idea. I just know that I scattered seeds and they're coming up. So in the springtime, this will probably look more like a cottage garden. And I have this bird stand with a little lemon coral sedum growing inside of there. And over here is my little bridge garden. And that's the little fisher boy that we're gonna get ready to name here real soon. And I just scooped out a lot of dirt and added some stones and some blue glass and made it look like a little stream. And those little stepping stones are just bricks. And it looks like the little blue creek goes all the way around, but that's actually a mirror. See, it's right below my kitchen window. And if you look, this mystery plant that just popped up from seed, I thought it was more vinca, but it's actually tropical milkweed. One of my viewers guessed that's what it was, and she was absolutely right. Tropical milkweed just popped up from seed. And above that, I'm growing a Clematis armandii snowdrift. I expect that to bloom in the springtime. And I call this the center of my garden, which is my iron plant stand. And the vincas down below have not stopped blooming all summer. And even though we're in fall, they're still going strong. I can't believe it. I've already cut back my vinca like twice, and then they regrow and then they flush out with more blooms. I mean, we're in fall. This is like the beginning of November, and I cannot believe how still pretty these look. And right here is my creeping Jenny. I absolutely love it. And on this side is the trailing vinca. It's called Vinca minor. And if you get up close, it makes these pretty little purple, bluish periwinkle flowers. More creeping Jenny. Just so pretty. And believe it or not, but I only started with one plant. I took out a piece and stuck it in the soil. I know I say this in every garden tour, but I just find it so amazing and I want to pass this on to you. You only need to buy one creeping Jenny plant and then you just take little pieces, stick it in soil, and you have more creeping Jenny. Seriously, this all came from one single plant. And there's more creeping Jenny, all from one single plant in that little antique tea kettle. You can't even see the garden sign I have underneath because it just grows so long. And I have another Canterbury bell in that pot with more vinca. And right where Abby is my cactus corner where I have some coleus, succulents, and a beautiful pink cordyline growing out of that center pot. Beautiful lemon coral sedum. I just love all the colors from yellows to greens and blues and pinks. Again, this is another example of how you can add color to your garden without depending on blooms. And growing in that vintage bathtub, I have a beautiful citrus blend lantana, which is the host plant to the Gulf fritillary butterfly. I have chili peppers growing right there. But look at my beautiful Elizabeth Angus bougainvillea. Every time it blooms, I get so excited, and it was one of my viewers who told me, Liz, that thing's gonna bloom all year long. I just thought it was like regular plants where you get maybe one flush of blooms and that's it, but this has been blooming all summer, and now we're in the middle of November, and it's still growing strong. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but these beautiful purple flowers, well, those aren't the flowers at all. The purple things are actually called bracts. It's almost like they're colored leaves, and the flower is actually that tiny little yellow center. That's the flower that gets pollinated. So when I say my bougainvillea is in bloom, I should say, look at all the beautiful purple bracts. It's like crepe paper. It's just so beautiful. Couldn't be more pleased with it this year. And all of my nasturtium are coming back from seed. They have these beautiful little orange and yellow flowers. And behind the nasturtium is a pink geranium. And growing up the arbor is a morning glory on the left side, and on the right side it's a red grapevine. And if you look down below from the yucca, right there, all my paper white bulbs are coming up. How fun! Good old California weather. And in these two pots I grow behind my vintage bathtub just to make use of all the space I have. I'm growing chili peppers. And some of them are already turning red. And there's more paper whites coming up out of this pot. I paint a lot of my pots. I painted that one to make it look like it's a watermelon. And I actually made this pot as well. I just glued bathroom tiles onto a terracotta pot, and then I filled it with grout, and I guess you could call that a mosaic. And in case you heard water in the background, this is my water fountain garden. It's a solar water fountain. Because the sun's out, you can hear the pretty water. Here's another view of my water fountain garden, and to the right I have some lily turf right where Abby is, with a beautiful white Natchez crepe myrtle tree. Behind the water fountain I have some cyclamen. I decided to do white cyclamen just to kind of brighten up that corner. My pretty purple salvia with a couple miniature roses in the tires. And there's an orange miniature rose by the love sign with a pretty pink geranium. And in my half barrel, I'm growing some succulents. I believe those are agaves with a cactus barrel. And if you notice, I have some horseshoe flowers. I just made those from horseshoes. I epoxied them to some rebar and painted them. Even though I really, really like rust, sometimes I like some painted things in my garden too. Well, obviously, from all the doors. And if you notice down my shade garden, I have some bottle trees. I recently planted some more cyclamen, some pretty pink cyclamen. I took out the impatiens because those were getting attacked by snails and slugs. I think that pink cyclamen in front of that carex grass has such a pretty color contrast. And I am getting ready to paint another door, and I'm going to put it right there behind that bottle tree. And over here is my succulent propagation station. It's made up of 3 park benches that I found, and I just painted all different colors. Just various succulents and cactus, and I don't always know the name of everything, but the hanging ones are string of pickles. And this one right here is string of pearls, one of my favorites. They do like a little bit more water than most succulents, maybe because they're always so full with their pearls and pickles. So those do require a little bit more water than all the rest. I think in the summertime, I'll water those maybe twice a week, whereas everything else I water once a week. And in the wintertime, it's safe to say I water these maybe once a month at the very most. If it doesn't rain, then maybe once a month. But that's about it. They're super low maintenance and so easy to take care of. And it seems like the more I ignore them, the better they do. So in my opinion, it's a great low maintenance plant, succulents and cacti. And here are more of those little birdies that I picked up at the thrift store, along with those birdhouses. All came from the thrift store. And you see this one right over here, I just took 2 leaves off the mother plant, and those will eventually form roots and make more plants for me. See all these little cactuses, one right here and one right there? Those all came off of the mother plant. So they're super fun to propagate and very easy. Now I know in my last couple videos I told you how I was going to remove these tires and replace them with either some ceramic pots or whiskey barrels. Well, you know what I decided to do? I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint the tires for now, just to hold me over until I figure out what I'm going to do. The reason why I don't normally paint tires is because the paint doesn't last very long. They eventually start to fade and then they look terrible. But I figured I'll throw some paint on them just for fun, just to hold me over until I come up with my final plan. Who knows, I might even like them and then just keep repainting them. I have no idea. My mind in my garden is always changing, which is why I decided to do these garden tours every week. So that is my garden so far. Now I think it's time we finally name my Fisher Boy. We're gonna put the names in your orange hat.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this little Fisher Boy is part of my bridge garden. And I wanna say thank you to all of my viewers for all the name suggestions. They were so wonderful. So we are down to free names. Huck and Finn was one of the most popular ones. The second popular one was Freddie the Fisher Boy, which I liked also. And if it's Freddie, we'll say Freddie the Fisher Boy and his fish friend Finn. And then another very popular one was Frankie the Fisher Boy. This one was actually my favorite, Frankie. But we're going to be fair and tell them what name you picked up.
It's not fair because my name didn't even get included. Henry Hooker. But oh well.
John liked Henry the Hooker. Yeah. Do you think we should add it?
No.
He said no. So, okay.
This is all about the all the subscribers. They picked the names.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and so we have Huck and Finn.
So I'm closing my eyes the whole time too, so everybody knows it's legit. No tricks, no games.
Well, they can kind of see what I'm doing anyway. I'm kind of excited too. I hope Frankie wins. That was my favorite. Frankie or Freddie. But Whatever. Okay, John, you pick a name out of the hat. You're so goofy.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Our little Fisher boy is going to get a name.
Henry the... No.
Frankie! Yay, that was my favorite name. So our little Fisher boy is Frankie the Fisher and his fish friend Finn. So I want to thank you to everyone for all of your name suggestions. Thank you for being here to see the garden tour. And I hope you have a beautiful day in your garden too.
Bye.
Bye.